Yo! Yayo Talk Show!
Dreamin'! Don't give it up, Molly.
Dreamin'!
Don't give it up, Marco.
Dreamin'!
Don't give it up, Kaden.
Dreamin'!
Al's name didn't fit. They talk about the show, this group of four friends been going for 1,000,000 years, there's no end. Watching every arc and saga, no sleep. It's the king of anime, 1,000 episodes deep.
Yayo! Yayo! Yayo Talk Show!
Talking about One Piece.
It's the name of the podcast.
We're not on Vine. Yayo Talk Show. Talking about
One Piece.
What's up, wenches, privateers, and non-binary buccaneers? Welcome aboard to the most chaotic One Piece podcast on the Grand Line Internet. Let's introduce you to the crew. First, the captain of the Chrono Pirates in person that we can actually hear again this week. Did you check your mic? Molly D. Simpy.
I'm looking at the mic and I'm making sure it's like turn the correct way, but it's me. Hello. Yatta.
The wild theorist Caden Jensen.
Hello. We're here for another movie.
Why did you say it like that? Why'd you put stank on it?
Oh, we'll find out in a minute.
The resident Black Dr. Al McClelland.
Hi, it's me, Al. There's going to be a pause after my name. Wait. No, there wasn't.
No, we got ahead of it this time. And I'm
Yay.
Brave Warrior of the Sea, the internet's Mark B. Donica. Welcome aboard, everybody. Today, we're going to be discussing our second movie, but the fourth in the pantheon of the One Piece film experiences, The Dead End Adventure. And this, of course, being very notable for the first film appearance of, what's her name? Nico Robin? So we're going to...
Dare you? Mark derogatory.
Yeah, straight up. we just did personality tests. I found out I'm 75% evil. I'm gonna be playing to that strength now. But with that, we've discussed. If you've missed our discussion about the last movie that we talked about, the Clockwork Island adventure, go listen to that because Usopp literally sucks farts in it. But if you're familiar with that experience, it's going to be something similar to today. We're not going to like Caden. I don't think you have any theories for us today. I don't think so.
No theories. It's the movie podcast. So welcome to your usual podcast filler arc.
Hooray.
So do we want to go through like basic like thoughts, what everybody felt about the movie? Like, did you enjoy it? Because this is on Molly and I's like quote approved films list in the sense of like,
Can I start then? Can I please?
Please.
Uh-oh.
No.
Why?
Oh, what a nothing movie. Nothing happens in this movie. This is the most anime movie I've seen in quite some time, in the sense that, hey, it's a sporting event taking place in the universe, and we're doing something on the side that isn't even related to anything that anybody wants. And there's 18 different plot lines in this movie, and none of them go anywhere in an hour and a half.
But it's also just like it's all plot A with like a few hiccups, but it's still plot A with this very teeny tiny
But there's no plot A payoff. There's no payoff. There's no like, here's plot A, and then nothing happens.
I mean, you're right, but I'm saying what I'm saying is that like it's just like it's incredibly straightforward, but there is no payoff. You're correct.
Well, what about Bascood and his sick boat hook jacket?
Yeah.
You're
Okay.
right.
Whenever he shows up, it's just sick.
Al, I'm so happy we have the same hat. I thought about that every time.
I couldn't not say it out loud. But sick. Oh, he's here.
See, gosh,
Jiraiya's here.
sick.
I'll be honest. I'm going to tell you right now. I watched this movie this morning. I already forgot like half of the names of these people. So I'm gonna pull up the names of these people for the sake of getting things going.
Gaspado.
While Caden is pulling up the wiki, Molly, did you enjoy this movie for like since revisiting it?
Yeah, so this movie came out in 2003. I found the receipts last night, and I will show Caden later, but I watched this movie in 2005 is when I got the DVD. And it's rewatching it, there's so much good energy in this movie, But Caden's right. It's like it's a whole lot of nothing. Like they really took their time. It could almost have been like an OVA again, but they didn't try to like. It was almost the opposite of the last movie we watched, where instead of trying to pepper in and like like really just shove in like new characters and like why we should care about them and why we absolutely do not care about them. This one was kind of like their characters around the gang, but the gang is like is doing this race to get money. And everyone kind of surrounding this race, they're not trying to push their plot point. It's more of like, ooh, a mysterious pirate hunter. Ooh, an old man. Like, ooh, a small child. Like, it's less of like, we stole your boat and we're gonna force you to help us, like without you knowing, and just more of like, there's people around, but they didn't make a big deal about it. But there's so much good energy. There's so many scenes in this movie that I have seen gifted and reposted a million times, and clips from this movie that I forgot was from this movie. There's a lot of like really fun scenes in this movie that could totally fit anywhere else in One Piece. Because they didn't have the specific people in this movie in those scenes. So it's easy to clip to be like One Piece in general. Like even the credit scene, I've seen that scene a million times and I didn't realize it was from this movie. With like the cute, like the merry-go running from the Marines on the Grand Line. Yeah, I've seen that a million times, and I assumed that was actually like an actual credit ending to the anime somewhere, and I forgot it was this movie.
It resembles a sequence from some of the other openings.
Yeah,
but it just it just goes, as opposed to being like, oh, we only use it for 3 or 4 seconds. We actually made it something.
Yeah, we did a thing with it. We did a whole thing with it, and it's amazing, isn't it great? I mean, it's really cool.
Wow,
like
okay.
they actually had the whole. No, like it's like there's some fun stuff in here that's just like, oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
and then that's it. It's kind of like, okay.
Before
All
Caden
right.
rips it a new one, like technically they did some really like impressive animation stuff in it.
Oh,
They
yeah.
didn't have to do it all. Like that one shot at the beginning where
The
we're
3D?
3D like
Yep.
3D.
flying through the village. That's like that was a pretty cool choice.
Oh, yeah.
They almost 100% nailed it, aside from like the sliding that some characters do. But like it was really pretty.
I mean, this movie was made what?
2003.
I mean, it's animated really well. Like it's like there's some great, like as far as animation, this is One Piece. It looks great. Like like they know what they're doing. Every time like Luffy uses any type of, you know, devil fruit power that he's got, and some of them are really cool in this movie, it just shines and it's great. And there's some really cool, like really the fight scenes are fantastic. It's One Piece. If you know what One Piece animation looks like, it's more of that with some cool little tricks and stuff like that they added in for movie flair, which great. The story.
but this, I feel, is something that encapsulates a lot of what the spirit of One Piece is when it comes to the world and the types of people that inhabit it, and the special powers, and just like overall the crew relationship.
Yeah.
Like this is a character piece. This is a glorified character piece, especially like the plot doesn't matter. Like the villain died, maybe,
Probably.
Just the villain died.
Yeah, so
never
it's one of those
seeing it
things. It's one of those things of like, okay, they present an interesting, and I guess I would say in the whole scheme of what we know about the Marines currently, and I'm just gonna leave it at that. I feel like Gaspard fits in with some of that idea. You know, it's something.
He's very crocodile, honestly.
My first note is we meet Gaspard, this big crocodile ass no good Nick. Like that's my note about Gaspard.
Incredible.
But, so it like I like this movie because you don't have to be invested. You can watch it and be on the ride for a very fun One Piece adventure. Everybody gets to do something,
fun.
and it's it's nice. It's not like bogged down, and this is also like a great entry point for people. Like if people want if people want to get, if you want to show people like just a litmus of what One Piece is, Marine's bad, Straw Hat's good, a bunch of different types of life, weird sea, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. This could be like, to get them started early, this could be that thing that they see.
I could see that. You don't really need too much introduction. There's not a lot of like anything. This movie overall it's kind of just we're gonna have everybody do stuff around Luffy, and Luffy's just like, I'm gonna beat the shit out of that guy later. It's like, okay, Luffy, let's get you to the point where you're gonna beat the shit out of that guy.
And you say
And
there's no
then
payoff.
and then we get there, and then Luffy beats the shit out of that guy, and then the movie ends.
It's another movie too that's like, it's usually in terms of arcs that I love, where it's like the Straw Hats fight people and it's effortless. Like it's more of like a show of power. This is one of those movies where like nobody gets hurt except for Luffy, really. And literally everybody gets one shot of what they do. Like Usopp used the cannon for the guys that were behind them. Robin,
the captain off on that one ship.
yeah, and Robin used her power to get us back on course, and like
Chopper's
Sanji,
doctoring.
yeah, it's just like
Chopper's doctoring.
everybody had like one kind of shot, and it was funny too because there was some stuff from like the Gaspard's second hand dude, like his right hand man, first mate guy,
Vega looking mother
has like a sword kind of ability, and I from way back in like 2005 when I first watched it, and coming now to like 2021, and the back of my mind was like, well, clearly Zoro will fight this guy because sword. That makes sense. And then when he doesn't, and the other guy takes him out, I was like, oh, huh. Okay. I mean, it was
talking about needles, talking about good old needles.
They spent so long, like, kind of like hyping this guy on screen where like, he's so quick, he's so quiet. Like Luffy specifically is like, huh? Like every time like that guy is around and it's like, where'd he go? Oh, he's over there. Like, ooh, very impressive. And it was like a 5-minute fight scene, and it was like pretty down and dirty, but they clip away so often that like we don't really see too much of the damage. But I will say that that fight scene was so fun, whereas like whoever was boarding it, or I guess whoever the director was, like utilize the ship. Like when he gets punched up on the railing and he slides back down the railing, that was super. Like there's a lot of fun bits in that, but it's so quick and they keep cutting away that you aren't seeing like the full impact of the fight, because it's like, yeah, they're fighting, but like the more important thing is that Luffy's almost here.
I will say again, this animation, like the animation is like, if you know One Piece, it's One Piece. It's real good. It's real satisfying. The hits hit and everything's very, I'm going to say a word and then I'm going to like incite the other two, Molly. I'm so sorry. It's very flashy.
No, I mean, that's still
Welcome to the Buggy Crew.
No.
I hate him. Luffy.
That's the difference between us. The evil difference.
Yes, I'm more evil in this case. But also think about this, is up to this point, for a show about pirates and a show about ships and a show about this vast ocean, a lot of this action takes place on the water, and it's something that we don't necessarily get when it comes to the series as a whole. Is like we get like the Monster 3 firing, like, you know, stopping stuff from hitting the ship, but we don't get like the unique ship designs for like Willie and the other people. I only know Willie because that's my dad's name, so that's what I remember.
Can you name any of the other ones? Anything?
Let
Jet
me
ski
not.
pirates.
Oh yeah, the giants that were they totally didn't steal the Dorian Broggie laughs.
Bobby and Pogo.
Bobby and Pogo. I remember those guys. At least
to the point where I feel like they even got the same voice actors for Dorian Broggie to play those giants in the movies as well, just to give them another rub. Like I honestly feel like that. And now I'm looking to see if they
I'm already there.
Did you already? Wow, that's crazy. Yeah. They probably already had them like under contract. And like,
the thing is I bet they were probably they were already there. And it's just like, we already have you. We already know that you could do these things. It's easier to just get. And that is so true. It's like, we know what we can get out of you. That's exactly what we want. Do that again. Yeah, let's go.
Can you laugh like a jet ski motor? Yeah.
So let's start this. Let's go on the dead end adventure.
Go, Kaden.
So movie opens up And our lovely Straw Hats are, being chased by the Marines, as they tend to be because they're wanted. They're coming fresh off of Alabasta. They're literally just like, they're leaving Alabasta. The crew, this whole robust crew, Robin has barely been there, and they're like, all right, we're being chased. So this is pretty much, we're leaving Alabasta. The Marines were on their way to Alabasta. They noticed us. They're chasing us now. That's kind of the air that's going on here. Well, there's a whole like storm that's coming up. And well, guess what? They're just like, well, we can't chase them through that. It's terrible. It's like they must have one hell of a navigator on there. And Nami is just like smiling, beaming, because the compliment still reached her ears despite being miles and miles away. And then there's a subtle drop, a subtle hint that it's like, hey, we just got a call from headquarters, Captain, that we need to be keeping an eye out for Gaspard. The stain on the Marines, the one who like left and became a pirate. And 10 seconds later, we're shown a really cool 3D shot that we were talking about earlier. That's just like sweeping through this really cool like island, village nightlife. There's like people getting drunk, people having a party. There's music. There's all sorts of stuff going on. It is a very rambunctious town. We get into a bar, and there's our protagonists. Once again, the Straw Hat crew sitting at a table, and they're just like, well, we're poor. We don't have any money. We don't know what we're doing. We really don't have a purpose. We're just kind of hanging out here until the log pose changes, more or less.
Luffy with a Goku-sized stack of bowls in front of him.
Mhm.
The boy loves to eat, and who can blame him?
And actually, like, so they're paying for food top level, and then later they're assumedly same kitchen, similar kitchen, but it's all you can eat. What the? I'm sorry, I'm ahead of myself, but
You are a little ahead of yourself, but
Logistic.
very valid. So they're having basic general like pirate adventure conversations. Where are we gonna go next? Where are we gonna get some money? I want some meat. Chopper's doctoring, and so on and so forth. Nami notices something.
Bandit Keith, motherfucker.
No, you're right. This is literally a Bandit Keith motherfucker. Very true to form. Just notices something, and Nami's just like, my money senses are tingling.
Mhm.
A coin?
The bartender holds out, 2 100 berry coins, and then take it into the back. And Nami's just like, that smells like money. I like money. We're gonna do that. So she goes over there and she says like, well, we're cool pirates and we do cool pirate things. I would also like to be in on whatever this money thing is. And the password is, she finds out to do this whole thing is 2 100 berry coins. So it's like, okay, all we need to do is show those 2 100 berry coins. They get up to this like, dude who looks like he's about to like kill him, and then she just goes 200 berry coins. And it's like, okay, and then lets them in. It's like it was a really tense scene for no reason. It's just like, no, what are we gonna do? And Nami's just like, I know the password that we just heard 5 seconds ago, the password for this door that we're about to open, that I'm about to show you in my hands, that we already saw 5 seconds ago. 2 100 berry coins.
The password for Cusco's password.
Thank you. So they get in there, and wow, second bar, the cool bar.
Inception
Basically.
bar.
First, they have to talk to a ghost, creepy old man who will not turn around. He just backs up towards the door facing them.
Yeah,
And
that's
opens the door behind
because
him.
he's got a weapon behind his hand. He's like, I'm not going to show you.
Let never know I have a dagger, even though we can clearly hear him sheath it when he sees the password, and then still backs up and then opens the door.
Very loud Foley sword sound
Shik.
here.
Yeah. I love this movie. So it's Inception bar. Inception
Yeah.
bar.
Bar in a bar, but the bar inside the bar is the better bar.
Mhm.
And
The bigger, better bar.
the bigger, better bar. Yes, of course.
The music track that plays we're familiar with. It sounds like it's people know it. I think it's the Galileo theme from
Yes.
but this is the first place that this music was played, and the name of the track I will never forget is underground bar, comma, big hole. And it's still to this day one of my favorite music cues ever in the show. I
What a
adore
great
this.
descriptor. That's incredible. That's so good. Big hole.
Yeah, underground bar, comma, big hole.
Big hole. Oh my god.
So we get into underground bar, big hole, and everybody's looking around and they're like, what is this place? And Robin, who has just joined the crew, they don't really know what she's going to be doing or anything. I feel like that's
Sure.
kind of what the movie didn't know what to do with Robin. They're just like, what does Robin do? She knows things and has hands.
Yeah, and they've already established in Alabasta that she has like the ability. She likes history. She has the ability to know things, and they're like
She reads
done.
Brain cell holder.
Yeah,
Yes.
they knew at least that much.
She's got all the hands to hold all of the brain cell.
Mhm.
So she chimes in and goes, okay, hey, I recognize this place. This is the place. This is this huge place where they make this bet and they start this dead end race. It's super dangerous, and there's a potential to like win a prize and something like that. There's money on the line. And Nami goes, money? And then they have this
Much
conversation
money.
with this other dude who's like
Money.
giving them some like information and backstory on how the dead end race works, and are you here to bet or are you here to race, and so on and so forth. And then Nami finds out, well, oh, maybe we are here to bet. And then Nami finds out how much the prize is for racing.
Mhm.
300 million berries.
Mhm.
And Nami goes, we're
That's
racing.
berries.
Mhm.
And of
As
course,
you do.
of course, for whatever reason, it's like everybody's on board with it except for Usopp and Zoro, which Zoro seems like he'd be okay with this. Usopp, yes, I am totally behind it, but Usopp and Zoro are both just like, why are you arbitrarily just deciding this? So they decide to enter, and then we get some cool like shots of other people, the favorites to win. There's these two giants that are hey, don't copy my homework from from these other two. Just to make it obvious,
Yeah.
and then we recast the exact same people as the same voices.
And use the same laugh.
and use the same laugh.
Pogo and Bobby.
Yeah, Pogo and Bobby are basically like, did I copy your homework? Yeah, just don't make it obvious. In case anybody, Molly, please, you know that meme, please.
Yep.
I know you. Okay, good.
Yep.
I don't know if the other two do. Again,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, all right.
Yeah.
We've got a fishman who is a former rival of Arlong.
Really quickly, does anybody know what Willie is a fishman of? I know Molly does, but Caden, do you know what? Can you guess from Willie's design in the two
From
times that you saw
Willie's-
him?
Yeah, in the 2 times that we saw him. Oh god. Let's see. He's black and white. Probably a killer whale.
Orca on the
Yeah.
money.
Which
There
is
we go.
it's so funny though, because like
Arbitrary.
I have like the one shot of him in my head, and it's like I just couldn't get past the nose, and he almost looks like not a blowfish, but those like those melty looking fish that are like
Blobfish?
"Rawr." Yeah, it looks like
Blobfish,
he looks like a
Like an-
blobfish.
he looks like an orca from Shark Tale.
Yeah. Oh god.
And actually, speaking of like same voice, same homework, he is voiced by Kosugi Jirota, who is also the voice
Voice
of
of-
Arlong.
Yeah,
Mhm.
there we go. Well, it's like,
People already in studio.
hey, we had him in something else, and they were already here. And so then we got the fishman, who's a former rival of Arlong, named Willie,
Mhm.
and then we've got the favorite to win, Gaspard, the former Marine, who we already
Gaspard.
heard about at the beginning, who is called General for reasons, I guess, because he was a former
General
Marine.
of the Sea.
Sensei, I have a question really quick.
Yeah,
General, were they saying shogun? Is that what shogun means? I thought shogun was similar to, well, I guess a kaizoku. I was gonna say it's similar to king, but is shogun the term for general?
No.
Okay. Cool.
Well, it depends. Admiral, Shogun. I think Shogun would fit. It
Okay.
depends on like what we're using, because yes and no.
Okay. I just remember them being like Gaspardo, the Shogun. Like I kept hearing Shogun.
It should be. I believe that because we're watching a translation, and sometimes the early stuff when things were translated in the so long ago's for subtitles, because we watched this subbed obviously for a million reasons other than the fact that it's only subbed.
Yeah. Mostly because it's only subbed.
Yeah, mostly because it's no, we're gonna dub it ourselves.
Only dubbed.
But but sometimes the subtitles, like for early on stuff, it's not quite perfect.
Yeah.
Especially if it was something that was translated unofficially.
Yeah.
The more official the translation, the more proper sounding everything is. So it was they literally probably just called him Shogun.
Okay.
And they just translated it as general, and it's just become like what they call him now because they only have the one subtitled version.
Sure. Okay, that's fair.
More or less, that's probably how I think it went down. Because again, early subtitles be weird, yo.
Oh, to be a fly on that wall.
Yeah, especially when it's done by we're a group of 3 people, and one of us knows Japanese, and the other 2 know how to write words down in a text document. And we're just gonna make it work.
So yeah, Gaspardo.
So Gaspard is the favorite to win, and Nami goes and registers the crew. Luffy immediately is just like, I'm gonna beat people up. Because I don't like
Luffy,
this
this
dude.
is a race.
Honestly, Luffy's just like, I don't like the cut of this guy's jib. I don't like it. I don't like it.
You got stank vibes, my guy. It's happening.
You walk into Luffy walked into big hole and basically was just like, wow, the vibes in here rancid. Where are they coming from? And then found Gaspard and it was just like, you.
I mean, they just finished eating. They went and ate more because it was like a free buffet style thing. And then somebody else started beef because Luffy was stealing food. And then they get to the top floor.
Quote unquote, we're pirates. Come on. It's all you can eat. Just go get more. It's whatever.
They're like, grr. Well, of
course, they do the thing that they always do, and pretty much every time Luffy gets introduced is, oh my gosh, he's a monster! And this
rubber man?
I'm made out of rubber.
I'm a rubber man!
It's so weird to be in this part of the sea where people are like, the devil fruits? And then to be like where we're at now, and people are like, yeah.
Yeah, my cousin has like a shelf of them. Can't fucking get rid of this stuff.
My entire family has eaten a devil fruit.
Yeah,
it's
the famine no means. I was about the famine no means. That's what I was gonna say.
It's like that coast of France where Garfield phones wash up all the time.
Oh God!
If it happened here, that'd be really weird. But there, no one bats an eye.
It's just like, oh, we got another one. All right, put it on the shelf with the rest.
Yeah, and this is also before Jaya and Skypiea and after Alabasta, and so they're in the Grand Line, but they're not in the New World. So people aren't desensitized to the crazies yet. They're still like,
the further along you get on the Grand Line, the more people are just like, yeah, there's a bunch of devil fruit here. Like,
yes,
Alabasta's like, you got into the Grand Line. Congratulations. This is your first checkpoint. You have a what now? A devil, huh? Excuse me?
Which is so funny because they're also like every monarchy and government official in Alabasta has like a zone fruit. Like they all have their own abilities.
But keep that on the down low. They don't. The peasants don't need to know this.
But it's also like on brand, right? Like they probably don't blink an eye because it's still like desert Egyptian themed. Like it's on brand for the town. So it's like, yeah. I mean, he turns into a hawk, and this guy turns into
the other thing is it's a monarchy. Do you really question the monarchy? No. When you're the poor, you don't go, why is that one who's of royal descent a bird? Because then they'll kill you.
They're like, God, the rich people have everything. They could just be birds. They could they have it all.
Whatever you want. You're rich, you could do whatever you want. You're made of sand. All right, whatever.
Yeah, so it's just funny that like it's that good early One Piece where everyone's like Nani when it's like Rubber Man.
The funny thing is that nobody reacts weird to the giants, even though they're just like, yeah, giants aren't that common. Not like too long ago.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that's
then-
Billy and Pogo.
Yeah, excuse me. Yes. How dare I? How dare I forget the amazing. Oh,
I guess what I'll say in that term is that everybody clearly knew who Bobby and Pogo were,
were,
so,
yeah.
so they were already desensitized to the giant wow factor because they already had like some fame behind them. Whereas like all they know about the Straw Hats at this point is that they have like a pretty decent like Luffy has a pretty decent bounty, but like that's all they know. Like they don't even know he's like a rubber man. Like they don't know, nobody knows a whole lot. They just know
Right.
of. They know
That's
of.
yeah, that's the whole thing is we're still in that whole like Alabasta area where all they know about the Straw Hats is uh they're led by somebody named Luffy and they have the pirate hunter Rorona Zoro with them.
Roronoa Zoro. It's
Rorona Zoro, and that's it.
it-
That's all they know. It's just like I don't know. There's a pet on board. There's it's a lady or two.
it's
Some blonde weirdo who's it's either a lollipop or a cigarette. I can't tell from this distance.
it's like at
Um,
this in terms of like the bounty and like what the
Usopp.
world knows and Usopp. It's like what the world knows at this point is like almost coming off of Arlong, basically. It's
Yes.
just from that first report.
I'm
and then
glad you said that because that pays off in the actual end of this, and it's
Yep.
probably the only thing that actually pays off at the end.
which
of
is
this.
how I knew where we were in terms
Yep.
of the story. But yeah,
So-
so anyway.
So anyway, they all join this ship, and they have this fight. Luffy has this barroom brawl because Luffy can't have peace
They-
for 10 minutes.
They introed a character though.
They did. They introduced Gaspard. They also introduced Needless or Needles.
Needless is a little bit more accurate, I guess.
Useless. Because
But also-
we see him like twice. We also see the actual like a character who has this like he's got a sick jacket, literally sick. Who's called what do they call him?
Chiad?
Shiraya.
Shiraya?
Shiraya.
Shiraya Biscued.
So he's a bounty hunter. Literally a bounty hunter. Called a pirate executioner. I
Yeah.
want your jacket. Black and yellow with the word sick on it. It's awesome. Your
He's
taste
really dedicated to the
Immaculate.
brand. He's got
Immaculate.
a boat hook on the jacket and tattooed on his face.
Yep.
sick. Just
Brand.
so cool. I
When you
like
got a good logo.
He had to infiltrate a fashion company.
So Shiraya is after Gaspard, and here's where like the plot starts getting wiggly everywhere. Shiraya is going after Gaspard because Gaspard killed his parents and his sister. At the same time, there is a young kid on Gaspard's ship that's just like, I'm gonna kill pirates. And Gaspard's like, okay, let the kid do it. Here's a gun, go for it. Have fun. Don't give a 10-year-old a gun. Just don't do it. Don't give anyone a gun, but don't give a 10-year-old a gun. It's a bad idea.
Mhm.
So there's where these multiple plots are coming in. So the Marines are after Gaspard. Shiraya is trying to kill Gaspard. Luffy hates Gaspard's vibes. No reason, no other reason necessary. And then there's this little kid who's what's the kid? Adele.
Eventually, it's Adele.
But it's
Anaguma.
Anaguma. I was gonna say Akuma, but it's
The
Anaguma.
devil.
Oops.
Right. I like the ending of the movie is still just sticking out in my head. So it's like I'm gonna keep calling them Adele, for a million reasons, and you'll understand why in a second. Don't worry about it. You've probably seen the movie. I don't know why I'm saying this.
Keep going. Keep going.
So
But
all of
basically, a
recording it?
well-armed Victorian orphan.
well-armed
Yes.
Victorian orphan, big poofy hat and all.
Cute.
So all of these plot lines are kind of converging. Gaspard said, okay, little kid, go kill a pirate. Shiraya's like, I'm gonna come for you, Gaspard. Gaspard's like, all right, well, we're gonna do the whole race thing. And Luffy's just like, I'm gonna kick your ass. And Nami's just like, get in the ship, Luffy. So like, okay, but I'm gonna kick his ass later. And Nami's like, okay, great, get on the ship. The next morning, the crew is setting sail with all the other pirates, and everybody's facing towards the island. And everybody's like, why are we doing this? And lo and behold, there is a tide that comes in with a breeze that is so strong, just like, anybody?
A gale?
No, just like what? Where did we encounter this before? Big, strong gust of wind that takes you over the top of a mountain?
Reverse
Reverse
mountain.
mountain?
There we go.
Reverse
Oh,
here.
okay.
It's supposed to be like participation.
Oh, I thought you meant wind wise. I didn't know you meant like the mountain wise.
No, we've done this. We've done this
Right.
before.
I've experienced wind before.
Yeah, where else is there wind?
Where else is there wind and big waves that take you up a mountain? Reverse mountain, yes, of course. So it's very similar to that, and they kind of basically explain it in the sense that Robin's just like, you idiots, you did this already. And they're like, we did do this already. And Usopp's like, it almost broke our ship. Almost foretelling that the ship will break.
And then they had explained to Chopper because it was the first 5 before they met Robin and Chopper.
Yep. Well, of course, Robin has been up and down the road before, but
Of
Chopper's just
course.
like, I've been doctoring for a while. I haven't been anywhere. So they briefly explain that we've done this before. It's going to be fine. So all the ships are converging and they're going up the mountain after this big wave of, water and wind has blown all their ships up there. Once they get to the top, all the ships drop, and that's the start of the race. And then there's no rules after that.
No rules, just right.
No rules. No rules.
When you
No
hear
rules
your
at all.
breadsticks.
Fight Club. When you hear your breadsticks.
So the ships start firing on each other, and everybody starts, it's like everybody starts blowing up everything. The giants lose immediately. Usopp blows up an entire ship with one cannonball. GG easy, I guess.
I do want to say the scene with the giants where it's like, let's do it, bro. Like, you got it, bro. Like, we're going airbound.
It's time for this stunt.
I love that didn't pay off. That still made me laugh. Like,
It was
watching it
very
again.
funny.
That's
I was expecting something big, and then they fell into the city. And it's like, well, those people are dead.
Well, they're giants. Of course they're big.
Yeah, but they also Mark.
Derogatory.
Don't boo me. You know I'm right.
Yeah. Why are you booing me? The whole purpose was to show that like it was gonna happen to the Straw Hats if they didn't course correct. But it was just like such a good setup. Like they made it look so cool. And then it's like, no, we mistimed it. What? And then it's like
Yep.
Sweet stunts have consequences.
And then,
made me
then the
laugh.
Straw Hats
That was good.
mimic that exact thing by having Luffy be a little bit of a barrier to jump over the same already wrecked boat. And
Yeah.
as a cushion.
cushion.
And he kind of like rolls. Like he rolls with it.
Yeah. Momentum.
And then he gets back on the ship, but they're flying, and then they're like, now what? And then Robin's just like, what if Big Hand? What if Lord
Lorge.
Big Hands? And then literally pulls the Straw Hats boat back onto course, which is really cool. I was kind of expecting wings because of stuff that's happening currently, but I guess it would have been less surprising if it was wings for that later.
Canon, this is a movie. None of this is canon.
None of this is canon except for Big Hands Robin.
Lord Chance.
Lord
Lorge.
McBig Hands.
Lorge hands.
So
Lorge
that's kind of it. That's it for kind of the race, honestly. The race kind of ends there for pretty much everybody. Except for the fact that they're all following the log post, the eternal log post, which means it only points in one place and it only goes that way. So all of the log poses that were handed out were fake. Gaspard had handed out, in league with the person who was running the race, the bookkeeper. They gave fake ones to everybody, which sent them to a marine base. A huge marine stronghold, which just eviscerated all the pirates. And Robin's just like, that's a fake log pose. Robin's just like spitting facts every time. It's like, what does Robin do? Brain cell. That's it.
Shoddy craftsmanship on that little brass cover.
By this point too, we've met the stowaway.
By that point, yes, we have met the stowaway, which the stowaway, looping it all back together, is this little orphan Victorian child with a gun, who threatens to kill them because, hey, I'm trying to kill a pirate. And Zoro's just like, karate chop. And then
Yeah.
the little orphan Victorian child wakes up. It's like, I'm gonna kill you. It's like, okay, We don't believe you, but all right.
Zoro, like without even being like, Zoro is that kid's gonna catch these hands meme, but he didn't warn the kid. The kid just caught the hands.
Well, then the kid shot at
Yeah,
it. Like,
it was-
first
and
reaction
missed.
was boom.
And missed
Yeah.
terribly. So, this kid was fighting them a little bit. It's just like, no, either kill me or I'm just gonna try and. It's like, so Robin gives the gun back to the kid. It's like,
This
all
should
right,
be interesting.
Yeah.
I know I knew, but
Robin literally hands the gun over to the kid and says, "Fuck around and find out."
Gambling that the kid will shoot the only bulletproof person on
Yeah.
the crew.
And you know what? The kid decides, I'm gonna find out, and fires the gun at the captain. Well, luckily, Molly, did you know what Luffy's made out of?
Rubber.
Yeah,
I
that's
like that
right.
they did the same bit twice in this movie.
They did. They did the same bit twice in the first half
one
of
of
the
the things
movie.
I like about story stuff is whatever, but they did stuff for the audience's benefit to get them more invested. So even if you walk into this movie not knowing anything, you walk in, you see Luffy's bulletproof in the bar. So then when the kid gets the gun, you're like, oh, they're about to find out right now.
There's the payoff for you as the audience.
It's add a little drama of, oh, I hope they shoot Luffy.
Shoot the bulletproof one.
Yeah, and they do something else
Ooh.
different in the movie too, of later in the movie too, to add drama for the audience's perspective, but not necessarily for the characters in the movie.
So, kid shoots Luffy. Luffy's made out of rubber. Bullet bounces back. Kid's like, oh my gosh, I have messed up. And then becomes sort of friends with the Straw Hats, as is usual. Very, and I'm going to be on brand for myself, very Robin Hood-esque of the One Piece, the Straw Hat crew is, we're going to beat the shit out of these people, and they're going to try to beat the shit out of us. Cool. You want to be friends after? If the answer is no, then we'll probably kill you. If the answer is yes, then welcome to the Straw Hat family, everybody. We're friends now. And literally, there is no muss, no fuss, no coconuts after that. Little kid literally shot at the captain, and Luffy's just like, so what up? Want to be friends? It's like, okay. I don't really see another way off of this ship other than being friends with you, so friends it is.
It's this weird middle ground where the kid's like, just kill me. If I can't kill you, you kill me. And like, we're not going to kill you. So you're just awkwardly going to be on this boat. But we're also we made food and we're trying to include you. And you just don't understand like where your place is in all of this.
So this was the weirdest thing. This is the thing I didn't quite get. They tracked down Gaspard's ship. Does anybody remember how?
Yes.
Chopper's nose. Chopper's nose.
What?
They made a joke too when they found the ship. They're like, I can't believe we found it. Like Chopper was like in the background, like, you doubt me? Like
it was just
Expert doubt.
Weird. It was so weird.
They at that point they're like, who gives a fuck? It's a One Piece movie. We know what
None
we're all
of this
about.
is canon. Nothing matters.
We just need to get to the guy, and we haven't figured out how to put like another eternal log post on this ship. So fuck it. Chopper's got a good nose. Even though he's not a dog, he's just an animal.
Right. Generic animal TM. What are you, a deer? Reindeer. There's a difference. That's even weirder. So we zip on over to Gaspard's ship, which is this hulking steamship, which is really cool. And I kind of want to see more stuff like that. To be honest, I like the unique ship designs in this movie. I thought they were really
Water
fun.
7.
Yeah, Water 7 had a lot of that too. But like, we also like spent a lot of time on land and fighting cops in Water 7. So
fair.
So there was
fair.
other stuff like this. The train was really cool. That was a train. It wasn't a ship. It was a train.
That's
sea
fair.
train, but a train. I like the different like styles of ship. Like again, the giant ship was just like, it was a scooter.
Yeah.
It was just a scooter. It was a big giant scooter.
No, it was a Wave Rider.
Jet ski.
It kind of like
Jet ski.
Yeah.
Jet ski. That was funny.
But we're on the ship. What was it called? The Salamander? Yeah.
Salamander.
That thing was cool. Like, just overall, that ship design was awesome.
Before you find out about his devil fruit ability, like you can look at the ship and see these different accents, like the masthead was, or the figurehead was in this shiny green material that is like, oh, that's a color palette that we don't see very much, especially from the Marines. And on the edge of the like the sails, you could see little green accents as well. That was all sort of like a design hint of, oh, there's something green. It's not jade, but there's something.
Something green this way come.
I'm glad you brought it up because we're right there. Shariah the bounty hunter is there on the ship, on the Salamander, and is fighting. I'm just gonna call him useless because he dies pretty fast or gets thrown off other things. So they fight. Gaspard's first mate, Needless, and Shariah, they fight. Shariah wins. So Useless is thrown away. But Shariah,
Sword hands versus shovel.
look, hey,
Shovel wins.
Shovel Knight has taught us all to not,
It's
to
true.
not just, put a passing guy towards the shovel. The shovel can be a very mighty tool and weapon.
I'm just going to add real quick too, by the way, the reason why they're fighting is because way down in the belly of the ship with the boiler, Shiraya, he just run through it. He gave kind of like a quick backstory, and somehow Gaspardo could hear it from all the way up on top deck, and so he was like, I heard your entire story. Come fight me. This sounds interesting.
Nito Frito Banditos. The plot has told me we're supposed to fight.
It's just like another one of those, like, it doesn't matter how he heard. Like, it really doesn't matter. We don't need more incentive for these two to fight. It's gonna happen now.
Tiny little snail phone on him, planted as a bug, and Gaspard had the other part in his ears. Like, oh, I'm getting all the backstory. Yeah, this is good.
It could have been so easy just to have like one of those like communicator pipes that are actually on ships, like that connect to somewhere else, and just have like, instead of showing like looking up into the dark crevice of like, for whatever reason, the lofted ceiling of the bowels of the ship, you could have had him turn and look at the wall where there was something like that, where he's like, guess what, bitch, I heard everything.
I think under like, if they had time like in the show, there would have been some like, that would have been where the reveal of the devil fruit would have been, because his head would have like through the wall and just been like, yo, I heard what you said. But
you talking shit.
Later, I heard you were talking shit. But for the movie, they had to make it more dramatic and have the reveal during the fight and blah blah blah.
Which is fine. Fine. That's fine. But we found out that Shariah is no match for Gaspard, because Gaspard is a man who cannot be sliced or punched. Because he's made out of
Buggy and Luffy.
He's made out of lime green jello.
Candy. He's made out of candy.
The candy syrup, which is green.
Ame no mi.
Yeah.
Ame no mi.
This giant, horrifying man has the cutest sounding devil fruit.
I'm sweet as candy.
I just want to like hear like a dub version of his, like, I have the candy, no me. It's like, okay, all right, sugar cakes. Tell me more.
Turn it down.
I remember
They call me Little Debbie.
God. God. I remember when I first watched this movie back in the day, and I remember distinctly what his devil fruit looked like, but I did not remember what it actually was until I was watching it last night. And I was just like, okay, the candy, this is where they're gonna use the candy, like, no, this is it, this is where it's going.
You were talking about in Clockwork Adventure, where Bear King ate the hard fruit, and it's like they have to do these off-brand BS things to try to make it comparable and maybe a little bit tougher than stuff that the crew has dealt with before. But this one, it gave it the thing of similar enough to Luffy, similar enough to Crocodile, so it's something that we know that Luffy can overcome. But how?
They also don't want to like have to come up with an original idea for a movie that's like not going to be canon. It's like, let's just do something, like Diet Arlong. We have Diet Arlong in this, and this is basically like,
actually, That's a really good point.
It's like this movie is just like, here's the diet version of the villains that you've already fought. In fact, Gaspard is basically like we talked at the beginning. It's just like, it's just crocodile adjacent. That's it.
It's not the candy know me. It's the aspartame know me.
Do you think they ever have to like run certain ideas by Oda in case it's like he's mid chapter and he's about to introduce like the Ame no Mi, and they're like, so we were thinking about using the Ame no Mi for the movie, and he's just like, and then it's like,
Crumples up half of a volume.
Well,
there goes part of Skypiea.
One Piece is now delayed because you people decided you wanted to have a stupid candy fruit in your movie that's not even canon anyway. Now I have to find up a new idea.
Because we've already kind of established previously that it's not, Oda doesn't take the road that seems the most obvious, like in terms of like devil fruit. Like instead of it being like the water devil fruit or, it's like the very specific elementals, we don't start with that. We start with some of the dumbest ideas ever for a devil fruit. And then we are turned completely on our head on how people get so creative with how cool that is. Because it's like, again, it's like in these movies, it's like, God, I've already forgotten their names. But yeah, it's like the Bear King guy and then but like what was the girl's name? Queenie?
Honey Queen?
Honey Queen? Honey Queen. Even
she
her
basically
power
had the same power as Gaspard.
Mm-hmm.
It was animated the same too. It was just different colored.
It was like blue.
But it's like, again, they're so stupidly specific and like stupid that like nobody would ever come up with it. But then I wonder, because they're so stupid and specific, I wonder if Oda was like,
damn it,
man, I had that on the list, and in the shakes the bag and creates characters bag, he had to take those out.
Honestly, I wouldn't put it past Oda being just like, hey, do you remember that character in the movie? Yeah, I brought them back. There, if you see in the background of the episode 853, there's some bounties on the board of the Marines, and a bunch of them are crossed off. If you take a look, they're the devil fruit powers I wanted to use again, but the stupid movies had them, so I killed those characters off screen. The fruit are mine again.
The fruit are mine.
But
all your fruit belong to me.
But the thing is like, Oda can absolutely do that at any point in time if Oda wants to just like, I want this power back. They were an unimportant character in a movie. They were killed in the background. Nobody cares. Like, I don't think anybody will get like super butthurt if Gaspard died off camera.
Yeah, like that's the thing is no body, no death. There could be the Ame no Mi could be a thing where he just goes, you know what? Yeah, we're doing this.
Yeah, it's just, you know what? Gone. I got it now. Like some random was like, saw it floating in the ocean. I was over by Alabasta, and there was a little fruit floating in the ocean. Picked it up. Picked it up.
Little fruit floating in
Picked it up, ate it, turned into a candy person. Don't know how that happened. And then Luffy's just like, I vaguely remember something along those lines happening a long time ago, but I'm not sure if it was actually me. But I'll deal with it now. So Gaspard's just about to finish off Shiraya, and the Straw Hats are here!
With an explosive entrance.
Would you expect
anything else?
I mean, yeah, it's the Straw Hats. So basically, the Luffy combines a couple abilities and then just pisses off Gaspard. It's like, okay, let's actually try and have this actual fight, because you're actually pretty interesting. Shiraya's just like, no. It's my fight. You're in the middle of, and then Luffy's just like, nerd, flick, and it just shoves him away. And thus, the actual main battle of the film starts to happen, which is Luffy versus Gaspard. Well, all that is happening, and we'll put that aside for now. Other stuff is happening on the ship. Zoro goes onto the ship with the little orphan to find their grandfather. They find the grandfather. Grandfather's just like, I'll follow you back. Don't worry about it. I'm not going to do something super dangerous and possibly die. Thumbs up.
Wink.
And
did he say wink out loud?
And of course, Zoro and the little Victorian orphan are just like, sounds great, because Zoro is an idiot, and the little orphan will believe anything.
Okay.
No, Zoro is a fool.
So, okay, Zoro understands honor and dying like quote honorably.
He also gets lost
So-
in the grocery store.
So, and that's actually, it's really funny you bring that up when we were talking, like them in the secret passage. Why was Zorro leading? It was a straight line, but he still could have gotten lost. But with this, it was sort of that thing of like we've seen that there are times, despite all of these shortcomings, quote unquote shortcomings with Zorro, he still is intuitive somehow. And this was one of those things of like samurai intuition of, oh, he's gonna go sacrifice himself to blow up the ship. I'm taking this kid out so that, or not what I mean. I am removing the child from the situation so that they are sad later and not now. So I feel like he knew.
Oh no, it's really a 50-50 shot with Zorro. It's like, is he doing it for honor or is he an idiot?
It's not
Yeah.
honor, but it was more of like the old guy was like totally just gonna get a thing in the basement and was like making direct eye contact with Zorro and was like, you guys go on ahead. And
Wink,
Zorro was like, raises an eyebrow and he's like, okay.
Yeah.
And like grab the kid.
Two thoughts entered Zorro's mind at that exact instance. One, the old man either forgot his wallet or he's going to die as a hero. Either way, okay.
Yeah, straight up.
He's like, I'm not gonna stand in the way of that.
Either one of those. Like, if you need to go get your wallet, cool. If you need to die an honorable death, cool. Either way, I'm going back to the ship with the kid to make sure that the kid is safe.
I guess I'm a dad now.
But also the kid is, I guess I'm a dead. Also, the kid is also making sure he's going the right way.
Right. The kid is not gonna. The kid is there to make sure that Zorro doesn't get lost. Zorro is there to make sure that the kid doesn't die. It is a symbiotic relationship.
Grandpa's the moral compass. The kid is a literal compass.
Exactly. At the same time, Sanji is just like, you know what? I'm gonna hop over there because stuff. And he doesn't really explain anything. He's like, I'm gonna go looking for something. And he runs across the old man, the grandfather, in the boiler room, and the grandfather's just like, I'm going to do something really stupid and I'm gonna blow up the ship. And Sanji's just like,
huh? Okay.
boss,
Just
neat.
I'm just here
I'm
for
gonna take the
directions.
I'm gonna take these sacks of flour and I'm gonna be out of here. You be good.
Sanji was like, that's so sad. Siri.
He played that for
He was like, play this man one good tune on his way to hell. Like, he was like, not my problem, walks away, but at least he put some music on for him.
It's just like, yo, I'd play some music for you, but we don't have a musician yet.
Don't worry, Polly's coming.
Yeah,
Plays the kazoo.
it's not Polly. Polly, I'm gonna,
Just
continuing
wait.
on. So Sanji has these two sacks on his shoulders, goes up to Luffy, says, I'm gonna go back on the ship. You take these. The old man's downstairs or something like that. I don't know. You figure it out, Luffy. You'll be fine. And Luffy's just like, yeah, I know I'll be fine. I'm gonna kick this dude's ass. And Sanji's just like, boss, let's go. So Sanji jumps back on the ship and just like, okay, everybody stay here. But Luffy sounds like he's in trouble. Everybody stay on the stupid ship. Nobody leave. It's at that time Nami realizes, hey, there's hurricanes. Cyclones, excuse me. Cyclones that happen in the middle of this area, which was loosely hinted at the very beginning. And
Like twice.
Yeah.
The Marines hinted at it, and then
Showed
the bookie.
exact scene where it was referenced. Remember this?
Yep.
Yes.
Cyclones, parentheses, important.
Cyclones. And Nami's just like, oh, we're gonna die. So literally they're just like, Luffy, you figure it out. We'll see you later. We're gonna move the ship away so we don't all die. And Luffy's just like, okay, I'm gonna kick this dude's ass.
He's like, I'll meet you at the McDonald's later.
So the fight between Luffy and Gaspard is pretty interesting in that, once again, Luffy doesn't care. Luffy's hand gets stuck in the candy syrup that is Gaspard's Ame Ame no Mi. And it sticks him in there, and then he sticks both of his hands in there, and then he headbutts him.
He headbutts the top half of his body off.
Yeah, just like explodes him. Then he like tries to eat him at one point, which is a very Luffy move. And they have this whole fight, and then that's when Sanji's just like, here's some flour, use this. And Luffy's just like, I don't know what this is for, thanks.
It's while we're already like talking about how they've already like kind of like hitched a ride on we've already seen this, done this in One Piece before. This fight reminded me so aggressively of the Krieg fight at Baratier.
Mm.
It's funny you say that because it really just felt like instead of having blood hands,
And water hands,
Yes.
yeah.
it's like flower
It's
hands.
the opposite.
Yeah. But even like the last move, like the bazooka move that Luffy uses on him, he turns his whole body into spikes, which is like when Krieg flipped all his stuff
True.
around, right? And it was all spiky on a ship too that's already being destroyed.
Yep.
The bro energy from that scene of Sanji being like, okay, I know food. If it's sticky, he needs to cover his hands. BRB.
Here, take this.
I do love that they don't explain it. It's just like Sanji's like, give me like 2 seconds. I got to go down and do this thing real quick. And they keep putting him in these scenes where it's like Luffy knocks his head back and Sanji's like, oh, that scared me. Like he's like in the background.
Sanji is normal human in this movie for whatever reason.
Some of the like background random comedy lines that are
Yes,
so
so
just like
good.
double talk while like story is happening is like at the top when it's like the only people that enter this race are pirates and idiots, and Luffy just turns to Zoro and goes, "Did he just call you an idiot? Why me? Well, I'm a pirate, so
Yeah, it's like you're the idiot. There was a lot of that.
You're an idiot.
There was a lot of background conversations happening that were really funny, and it made it feel like a little bit not more real, but there was a different tone to it instead of like the normal anime where every single thing that's being said on screen is quote unquote important. That like everything else, we got to go like linearly between who's talking. Whereas like this again, it's like more of like a nice character motif where we're getting like bits of the characters in the background too. Like when they talk about Reverse Mountain, Chopper is like, "What's the Reverse Mountain?" And then Usopp's like, "Let me tell you the tale of Captain Usopp in the Reverse Mountain." And that's just happening in the background.
Yeah,
and that's
it's just-
I like that a lot.
It's great when like you don't need to care about what characters are saying. You could just have them have conversations, which is great. And that's like the point of some of these movies. It's just like I want a new interaction with my favorite characters, and I want it to be a contained experience, which is exactly what anime movies usually are. Like Naruto's really good about that, where it's like, hey, we're gonna go on this adventure that means nothing, but we're gonna have some cool character interactions. And hey, maybe your two characters that are the rare pair ship will talk to each other in this one. They won't, but maybe they will.
Wow, they sure are standing next to each other.
They
Ooh,
sure are.
their hands are dangerously close to 5 feet apart.
It's about the tension.
Look, the fact that they've never actually been in a room together speaks volumes about how much they hate each other, and that's just enemies to lovers for me.
this is the story in this movie that they want to tell.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It's the subtle way that they didn't ever glance at each other that makes them my OTP.
Poetic cinema.
I say that as a joke, but damn if it
Do you?
ain't true for like half of the things that I ship.
Anyway.
They've never spoken. OTP.
OTP.
So they have this wonderful fight. It's a beautiful fight. Like it's a really cool fight. Anytime Luffy has to do the additive to his own abilities to win is something I really enjoy. Again, with Crocodile, it's probably like the big like entryway to Luffy can use things to his advantage and best somebody who's usually supposed to be able to beat somebody who just punches people as his job. This guy, for whatever for all intents and purposes, should have been invulnerable to Luffy, except for Luffy is Luffy, and is 1, stubborn, and 2, surrounds himself with people smarter than himself. So threw some flour on himself and threw some flour on Gaspard. They have this knockdown, drag out fight. Gaspard's just like, I'm not going down. Only one of us is going to leave. There's a boat over on this side of the ship that you can get off with, but only one of us is leaving alive. And, the other one is going to sink to the bottom of the sea, which baller. Cool. I love that. I love that 1v1 me on a boat and one of us is going to die because we sink like a stone thing. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
Luffy wins, surprising nobody, as he's the protagonist. Note that down if you're taking
spoilers.
notes. Yeah.
Spoilers. I haven't finished this movie yet. Spoilers.
Got it.
Gaspard does this thing like Molly was saying. It's like produces spikes and turns them into like hard candy spikes, and just kind of like throws himself at Luffy. Think he's like, well, you won't hit me because I have spikes all over my body. And Luffy's just like,
Sir.
I'm an idiot and made out of rubber.
That guy was like, I'm gonna make this as hurdy as possible. And Luffy was like, boss.
I eat hurdy for breakfast.
Yeah.
Gaspard's just like, this is gonna kill you. Luffy, bet. And Luffy, winds up the bazooka and then blasts him off.
Into the cyclone.
Yo, that was the best. When he's like going into the distance and he's like gets caught by the wind and he goes like off screen right. That made me laugh.
Yeah, it was great.
That made me laugh.
Later, nerd.
Yeah.
So that's it for Gaspard, but the ship supposedly goes down, and the Straw Hats are like, oh no, where's Luffy? They're like literally hours, days later. Who knows? It's been a while.
Our journey's over.
The cyclone is gone. The sun is shining. It's beach fun time. Everybody got new outfits. Nami went on a separate adventure that nobody ever got to see. Other stuff happened. And, a tiny little boat shows up that has, 3 people on it. The old man saved Luffy and, oh gosh, my brain stopped.
Jiraiya.
What's...
She did it.
Shiraiya, exactly. So Shiraiya is saved. Luffy is saved. The old man is alive. He's like, I wasn't planning on dying. What are you, stupid?
I said I'll be there till the end. Not that I'm gonna kill myself.
He literally just said, I wanted to watch it. I just wanted to see this. It was gonna be cool. It's like, okay, all right.
While he's having this conversation with them, he's covered in like 30 life preservers.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's just taking them off one at a time.
He values his life. That was so funny. So yeah. She
Hello?
sick boy. Sick. It's just kind of like, cool, thanks for saving me, but also like I was really in it for just the revenge. And then old guy was like, bro, while this stuff was going down, I galaxy brained and I put the pieces together. And let me blow your mind real quick. That little boy that everyone's using he, him pronouns for?
Wrong.
That's a she, her. And not only is it a she, her, bro, that's your little sis.
So this is the thing that one of the other things that I liked, where they showed us that the pieces of the flashback before the characters knew that, to a point where the audience is more invested in Shiraiya's journey now, and they want him to live so that he can spend be with his little sister again. And we know that. And that heightens the tension just a little bit more. Luffy punches him off of the ship, and presumably the old man dies. So we're like, what's going to happen to this little girl? And then we get all the safe thing. And we then like, I like when movies do that. They don't play around with the audience. They don't, like in the last movie, you see the parents and then there's the little kid, and we knew 100%, oh, that's their kid. But with this one, they just went, okay, we'll tell you. We're not going to tell them, but we'll tell you, because you probably would have figured it out anyway. And it helped build just a little bit more attachment. I'm not going to remember this for the rest of my days, but for while we're talking about the show, I really like how they did that.
My only thing with that is the character design between the kid who is Shiraiya, who is probably like 10 in that scene, and his 3-year-old sister, but they are maybe half a foot of height difference, and like they look to be around the same age, just shorter and taller. And then it was like this clearly grown-ass man, probably at least 18 or 19, for like, it's okay to thirst for this person type movie mentality. And then this small child who's only grown a couple inches since the last time we saw her. Bothered me.
How old is Shiraiya? Guesses.
Shiraiya was 3 in that.
No. That was
Adele.
Oh, sorry,
Adele.
Sorry.
Shiraiya.
It was. I want to say at least 18 or 19. I want to say he's on par with Sanji and Zoro.
So you think he's at the time of movie, you think he's 18 or 19.
Yeah.
Al, how old is Shadiah?
Yeah, he's got like a Sanji look to him, but I'm gonna shoot for younger because his sister's 3, so 17.
Yeah, I was gonna say 17 as well.
He's 20.
Okay.
Bro, I was gonna say, I'm like, are they gonna go face with
How
it?
old is Adele?
Isn't she 11? Like 10 or 11?
I want to say 13.
Okay. And let's guess. Come on.
I'm gonna go 10.
She's 11.
11. I swear they said it had been 10 years. Would it had been 8 years?
It had been 8 years, yeah.
It had been 8 years.
Heck. I rounded it. Dang it.
Bork.
So the movie literally, like, we're at the end of the movie. They all get back together. They, it's like they throw the civilians who are not pirates onto the little lifeboat, and they're just like, okay, you can go back to the island because the Marines from the beginning of the movie are back.
Yeah.
And they're gonna chase us again. So they won't believe us if we told them we saved you. And they won't believe you either. So you just go. And we'll sail away and we'll make them follow us. Cool. Okay. That's it.
Well, it's like they were about to finish the race, right? Like they were headed.
They were
towards-
like
Yeah.
right there and
Get the money.
Yeah, and then
Get the
and
money.
Nami's just like, no, we should go. And then Nami, as they're pulling away, it's just like,
But they already
Nami said that coughing up blood.
at that point they had already invalidated everything though. Like, oh, the bookie presumably died in the cyclone. It was it felt like it was all a setup at that point. But I like showing the citizens of the town being like, oh, I guess there's no winner. It's like, is there ever a winner?
Yeah, that race is designed to whittle down pirates.
Yeah, exactly.
They did imply that like the race started because of Gaspard instead of like it had always been a thing, but
This
like
particular
he came into he came into it later and then like twisted it to be like his thing, but
His kink.
yeah, and that's when we find out there's this really great moment at the end where we find out that Luffy's bounty has been plussed.
yeah, right at the end, they're just like, wait, the dude who we kept saying had 30 billion or 30 million is 100 million? What?
And then I think they said in the movie when they say Gaspard's is 95
Yeah,
million,
like,
and
that's more
they're
than
like, wow, that's
Gaspard.
bigger than Crocodile. And then at the very end, I think they either say like 100 million. That's more than either Gaspard or Crocodile. I can't remember which one they said,
Yeah.
but it's like they like make a point to say it.
And that's it.
Yeah.
The Dead End Adventure.
We're out.
The Dead End Adventure had a dead end. Nothing happened.
Yeah, exactly. Can I talk about the character designs in this movie? Because I talked about it last time.
Please.
So they do a much better job this time around where it actually seems like the character designer actually looked and was like, I'm going to try and make these guys fit in the world. Even the like background characters, like in the beginning with like the weird 3D animation, like those all looked like they just used incidentals from the actual show. And that was nice. And then Sick Boy actually looks like he could fit. You know what I mean? Like he's got kind of Ace vibes, especially now that I know how old he is. Like they kind of hit that on the head. Gaspard, kind of, sure. Yeah, and then it's like
I mean, do we like a marine turned pirate kind of look? He still has very heavy marine aesthetic stuff going on with the white jacket and everything.
it's just like generic like bad guy
Generic
vibe that they put marine
He looks
imagery
like
on.
a combination of characters that Caden hasn't met yet.
Yeah. So they hit it similarly. Like they hit some notes like pretty similar. Like even like Pogo and Bobby are pretty similar, except for like the fishman design is so weird in this movie. Like there's that they kind of like went askew there, and then some of the other pirates, the incredibly forgettable guy, which I think is who was it when Usopp? He was the guy who was in last place.
Yeah, the guy that came up behind them.
Yeah, it starts with like a V, I think, but he was more towards like Trump pirate-esque, where it's like clearly wasn't an Oda design, and then Adele seemed very Oda-esque, and even like they did it like this a couple things or whatever that while we were talking, I had a big brain moment where it's like I'm pretty sure that they had done Shiraya's design based off Kill Bill because came out around the same time. And I looked it up. This movie actually came out before Kill Bill. So Kill Bill Kill Bill was inspired clearly by One Piece, but it was like, cannot believe 2003. 2003 was the year for Yellow and Black Jackets.
Sick.
They're still in season.
So weird. It was like such a weird, like one of those like uncanny valley moments where I was just like, when did this come out? Oh, this came out in March of 2003. When did Kill Bill come out? Oh, the fall of 2003. Wild.
Telling you, Yellow and Black never goes bad.
It's the same.
Keep using it.
It's the same thing we talked about before with like the Noki Bay, like Super Mario Sunshine, where One Piece had come out before Mario Sunshine.
Yeah, and it just happens to be
Everyone draws inspiration from One Piece.
Everyone steals everything.
You can't change my mind. So now that we finished talking about it, Caden, I'm gonna put it in chat for you to see, and I'm gonna very cringily suggest that we could post this on the Twitter. But I found some receipts last night, Caden, and I found old fan art that I drew
Oh my god!
in 2005 of
That's so cute, though.
Sick Boy and his sister. And again, we've talked about this before. I get names wrong repeatedly due to old and poor translations.
Aduru.
Yeah, her name
Dudu and Sherdaya.
that is what the internet told me their names were based off of like really crappy English subs and like
Oh, internet.
Yeah.
Oh, young
You know what people do is they put their old work and they put a new version of it.
I'm not
Ooh. Ooh.
you guys, I spent
All day yesterday drawing.
I'm like, let's see, from 11 a.m. until 9 p.m. last night. How many hours is that? 10, 12?
And all I'm saying is it's like a month until this episode comes out.
12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Molly was
9.
drawing while we were doing the pre-show stuff.
Yeah. I drew for 11 hours yesterday for stuff I don't even know when and where we're ever going to use it. And I don't want to draw fan art of this movie again.
Here's the thing. One thing, merch. Second of all,
We don't have it.
branding.
What? We don't have a T Public.
Why don't
Yeah.
why doesn't
Redacted.
Why doesn't Al take my old fan art and he draw something new? How about that?
Let's make Al do some art for a minute.
Okay.
I know you're day job tired, but it's one drawing
We have a month.
compared to everything I did yesterday. Which was I did 4 new icons and then did alts of all the
And then
icons.
also did 4 other icons and then also background art and then
So 12. And
Seems like a fair trade.
just do the one. Just do the one. I'm begging you.
I can't wait for. Just out of curiosity, do you think that those will be posted by the time that
no.
this episode has come out?
Well,
I ask the lovely Molly, who has absolutely full right to say, I'm gonna not work on these for a while.
the problem is that I'm having fun and that's why
That never happens.
that's why they're getting done. It's because like it's not that these are important, it's that I'm having fun, so I'm getting them done.
Molly,
it's like
having
whereas
fun is important.
Having fun is important, Molly.
it is, but it doesn't prevent the things that actually need to get done sooner because I'm having more fun with the things we'll never use.
Can I say the stuff that you're drawing?
Yeah, I don't care.
I just want to comment on one thing. So Molly has been Molly's doing these cute little icons. They're so adorable of each of us in our respective crew member slots as of the point that I'm in now.
Yeah.
Which means that Molly, as always, is Luffy. We've got Mark as everybody's favorite
Polly. Jack
everybody's-
Bonesman. I'm sorry.
You're killing me. You're killing me.
Frightened.
And
Scared.
Run.
Stop.
Frightened.
I'm gonna skip both of you in a minute.
Pikachu Josh.
So we've got Mark and Alice, Frankie and Brooke, and I'm Robin. But then out of nowhere, Molly's just like, wait.
No.
mm,
more.
I explained it to you yesterday when we were chit chatting, but it was not out of nowhere. I woke up yesterday and there was a message from Mark that said,
I said, please, this doesn't mean that you have to do it. But what would have been a funny goof is if you drew me as Polly instead. And then, like, a short amount of time later, me as Polly appeared.
it was my warm up for the day. And I was like, because you said you don't have to, I was like, but I'm gonna.
Now it's gonna happen.
But now I'm gonna.
So now there's the opposite version.
And then I thought, I finished it completely and I thought, this is really funny. Maybe I should do the alts for all of us. And then we were big bringing it in the spoiler chat where I was like, well, who would be who? And then it changed again where I wanted to make it more towards like try to get every arc in instead. So at first I said like Caden could be Khalifa, but then we already had Water 7 Polly for Mark.
I'm so sorry.
And then I wanted two bad guys, two normies. So Mark was Polly. I became Ace. And then Caden was Perona. Which is like where you are currently. And then
Yep.
I don't want to
Polly, please
Go on.
I don't want to say it. It was already so hard working on it, but
And I'm Buggy.
Yeah, Alf Buggy.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
sweetest 0% evil person on the crew.
It's her least favorite character.
I had to draw the eating grin Buggy pose because it's like if I'm gonna draw Buggy, I'm gonna go hard. But then it was just like so upsetting. I was coloring it while I was talking to Kaden, and I'm like, I'm just so upset right now. I'm just
You sent a message to all of us like, it's just so threatening.
it's
There's
so
two
threatening.
There's two things I love about the drawing for Ace of you, Molly. Is one, you kept the no shirt thing.
Yes.
But in the chat last night, you're just like, every time Ace Molly shows up, there's fire sensor.
Yeah, I was like,
like Endeavor.
Mark, what was your headcanon? You had a good headcanon, and then I'm like, okay, here's my headcanon. It was the oh, and this is I'll say this real quick. This is our anti Yayo talk show people, like the nega, the anti versions of ourselves. So yeah, so it's like the Yayo talk show, and then the antis are
The Yeah No talk show.
Talk
show.
Yeah, no talk show.
So then that was good. And then Mark, you had a headcanon. I can't remember what you said.
My headcanon was instead of a bear, Caden Perona has a reindeer.
Yeah, that's right. Because then it was like we're the Rudy. We got Rudy from Uno, and then
Rudy.
And then for the no talk show pirates, it's Rudy. Like it's spelled
Rude
like
boy.
the word rude, with a Y.
With a Y at the end. RUDE-Y.
And then I was like, those are good headcanons. Here's my headcanon. If I have to draw us in animatic form for whatever reason, I'm going to continue to be shirtless, but for censorship, my boobs are just going to be on fire. I could put a shirt on and get away with it without buttoning it. Like then it would still be censored. He does wear a shirt at some point, but then I came up with that, and I'm like, but that's funnier.
He is so loud. He is so frightening, and he doesn't wear a shirt.
Oh my God. So funny.
So when you see those, there's also a really cool banner that's being
Oh God,
made.
there's
Molly
so much stuff.
Molly. Listen, there's a lot of stuff going on in the background that you don't get to see until it's done, and there's a lot of work going into it. So this is where we say thank you for listening. And thank you for listening to this wonderful filler arc that has gone on just as long as the filler itself.
We did it.
Mark, did you have anything on your notes? Any little notepad? Anything additional?
Oh, in terms like run of show, I've just got the outro. But other than that, like I think we've
No quiz, no nothing.
Well, no, we don't do
No,
it for the
not
movies.
Not for filler.
Well, I pay attention in class. Clearly,
Well, you're doodling the whole time.
I'm what?
You're doodling
you
the
guys-
whole time.
You guys couldn't hear
Can
me
hear you
using
drawing.
Yeah, can you guys hear me using my shortcuts in Photoshop?
She's drawing so fast.
Oh God.
Caden, thank you for thanking the thankers. Thanks everybody for listening to this episode of Yayo Talk Show. But before we go, if this is your first episode, we're gonna let you know where you can find us. Let's start with Caden.
So you can find me all over the internet, most specifically Twitter, Tumblr, and Instagram, and that's at Caden Jensen, KDINJENZEN. And you can also find me at roosterteeth.com, and that's just Caden right there.
Al, where can the folks find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Al McClelland Jr., which is ALMCCLELLANDJR. If you search that string of characters, you can find me anywhere else.
And you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, Mark B. Donica. And how about you, Molly?
You can find me on Twitter at Teflood, TEHFLOOD, and Tumblr, Molly Flood or Molly K Flood, depending on if you're looking for art or memes.
So now going along with how most arcs, sagas, or in this case movies have ended, now that you've listened to the episode, you've joined our crew. With that comes the responsibility of telling your friends, leaving a comment, leaving a review on iTunes, and following us on Twitter and all social media, because when we go hard at Yayo Talk Show. And please
we go hard.
Please, everybody, also let Caden watch the show in peace. So come aboard, and we'll see you next time on Yayo Talk Show.
Talking about
One Piece.